Hello everyone and welcome back to The Evil Within, but this time we'll be doing the assignment. The assignment is the first part of the DLC package of The Evil Within, dubbed the Season Pass, of course, like many other games are doing these days. But one thing that people used to talk about a lot during the initial playthroughs of the main game of The Evil Within was the story didn't make much sense. Personally, to me, I could understand what was happening, but I do agree that there were portions of the story that were really open, or should I say left open to interpretation, and some things were just missing altogether. So in the first part of this DLC that we have been given the assignment, you follow the steps of Julie Kidman, who is one of the detectives, the female detective to be more exact, and her shady misdeeds. You could notice in the main game that there was something about her that just did not make sense, so I assume that these three DLC parts are there to further explain Julia or Julie's involvement with Mobius and why she's looking for Leslie and her shenanigans, really what's going on with this game. I've already played through this DLC once on the night that it was released, and I finished it. It was difficult, it was challenging, it was very scary. But now that I'm recording it, I hope to calm my nerves down, I hope to calm down and hopefully not freak you guys out too much. But let's get straight to it and adjust some brightness. I'm going to increase the brightness because I think my new rendering software is quite dark and I need to try figure out those settings, but I'll just keep the game rather light so that we don't have too much of a dark environment to view. We'll keep it on survival because I'm not yet skilled, and let's go.
Do you stand with Mobius?
I do. I made my choice.
And as we go, one thing I'd like to point out, which actually shocked me to death when I first started this DLC, is the frame rate.
The crash. I wasn't alone.
Where
is everybody?
If you are familiar to any of the work I've done on The Evil Within, i.e. the videos I've made, most of them were at an extremely low frame rate, considering that when it came out it was capped to 30 frames for a long time, and recording reduced the frame rate, of course, for me. And I was shocked that starting this game up I get 50 to 60 frames per second when I'm not recording, and right now it fluctuates from about 35 to 60 as well. So I was really happy with the performance improvements they've done to the game, and I guess they finally figured out what the problems were. I always thought that The Evil Within it didn't require too much, but instead I believed it was badly optimized when it was released, so at least the patches are doing work.
Sorry, Detective Skips and Creeps.
I've got to get out of here.
We've already been introduced into the shenanigans of Ruvik and this mind we've been put in. Criminal records. One interesting note is that they are all part of the STEM experiment, whereby they all share this one mind that they're trying to hack or trying to find this piece of information in Ruvik's head, and it still amazes me how sinister Ruvik can be as a character, creating this vast world of evil.
Hey, where's Joseph? Everyone must be dead. Settle down, Leslie.
Leslie.
Leslie. Leslie Withers.
I'm sorry?
Kid, I need you focused. I need your attention. This is a serious matter. Everything we do is a serious matter.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'd like to think so, but conviction must be proven with action. As I was saying, your target is Leslie Withers. He's a patient at Beacon Mental Hospital. But he's something more. Simply put, we need him to run our STEM system. Without this asset, our research will mean nothing.
I don't understand. We own Beacon. Why not just take him?
Our relationship with his advisor, Marcelo Jimenez, has become rather strained. The boy is a leverage piece. Jimenez plans to activate a STEM prototype at Beacon without our permission. Obviously, that's unsuitable. Have no illusions. It will be dangerous. Come, take a walk. The nurses are waiting.
Our first introduction to the head of Mobius. I'll just refer to him as Mobius himself, because in this particular section of the game, you do not really meet any other
Hey there. Where did you come from?
should I say, colleagues of this corporation, but instead you only ever talk to this one leader of the operation, and he embodies all the insanity you go through with him. Embodies Mobius's thoughts, or should I say Mobius's goal. That's the only time I believe we get to sit or get to stand by his desk and check out his office, but we have to go check out the corporation and what he has in store for us. The faces of people faded and blurred. You'll never really know who they are. It's a subtle play on insanity, as there is a mental sickness that, how can I say this? There's a mental sickness that makes you unable to recognize facial patterns, facial recognition, or voice recognition at all. Hence why some people go insane with the sickness, especially it's been noted in some serial killers as well, that they are unable to see these faces and voices, and to those that do and end up going insane, they end up killing in the name of destroying monsters in their world.
If Jimenez activates the system, you'll be pulled in. Hopefully he doesn't. But as a precaution, we've prepared an infusion to prevent contamination.
Like a vaccine? To protect me?
More accurately, to hide you. We developed STEM, but there is a ghost in the system. Something we call Ruvik. It means to keep us out. This infusion should protect you to some extent.
Introduction to Ruvik as a character.
Why send me alone?
You won't be alone. You'll be with your team from KPD. You'll get a call on the radio reporting an incident at Beacon. Everything will be arranged. But their consequences of little value. In regards to your mission, they're expendable. Come, sit down. We must have that boy. He will enable us to change everything.
I'll come back with him.
I needn't remind you the consequences for failure. Loyalty is a sensitive subject for us. Trust is such a valued commodity in today's world. So once again, I ask you, do you stand with Mobius?
I do. I made my choice.
Now you must back up your words with actions. Do not waver. Now I'm going to count down. And when I'm finished, I'll ask you a series of questions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'd like to ask you some questions. Have you ever felt abandoned by the ones you trusted?
And now we can make the assumption that Kidman has been sedated and has fallen into a sleep. But would that mean that they have a connection to the STEM system in the room that we were located in? Because at the end of the first game, they were all together in one room in this supposed STEM experiment at the Beacon Hospital. One of our few weapons, the torchlight, and yes, in this DLC, there are no guns at all.
What's going on?
It's all about torch.
Where did everyone go?
It's all about stealth. And almost anything can kill you in 2 hits. You need to be really careful. Really cautious. A little reference to Shaun of the Dead, the white shirt and the red tie. Subtle plays by Shinji. It's very subtle, very scary. Don't step on the dead bodies if I were to give you any advice at all. Because they will retaliate upon you and hold you and grab you and potentially do a lot of damage. But you are able to step on the head, smash it, survive. But like I said, health is a resource in this game, a very prized resource. And we encounter our first...
Help! No!
Hey!
Not the light! Not the light!
Hold on, I'm gonna find a way in there.
As I said, we encounter our first death. Just listen.
Please. No. No!
First time I saw that, I promise you. That was really scary. There's a lot about this DLC I feel is
Oh shit. What could have done this?
very dark, very twisted. There's no sense of this game is cool, or that was cool, that was awesome. There's no part of this game that makes you hyped or psyched about anything, really. I had the sense of dread that I wish this would end, which I guess is a good thing for a survival horror, but sometimes games are about fun, and
I'm afraid that the fragile mental states of the subjects are limiting our studies. Mobius wants us to move past Beacon patients and onto more stable people. They want to get STEM closer to its intended use. Would they see the world in the same way? Would a sane mind weather the psychically draining experience? I had that dream again. I entered the STEM myself.
finding some of Jimenez's documents on STEM. And we encounter our first monster. Like I said, avoid all dead bodies and avoid making a lot of noise. Anything can really kill you in this game. Very easily, very subtly.
Hey!
Okay. That's our first encounter without dying. One interesting thing is that it shows you health recovery, that when you drop below that amount of health you have to recover shortly, and bear that in mind, your health will never get higher than that. Never. You have to just work with the 2 shots and you're dead. And we encounter our first puzzle. The nice subtle thing about this is that you get to see the last code that was entered, and this person has blood on their finger, so you have to think to yourself, if I have blood on my finger and I'm pressing buttons, the first button I press will have the most amount of blood on it, and then it just fades as time goes on. I do not know the location of all the puzzles, probably something that I would look for if I ever replay this in a later date, potentially when I've got all the pieces of the DLC. I'm with friends and we just want to scare ourselves. We'll probably go looking for all the pieces, but for now we'll just be playing just to clear the DLC. Okay, we didn't die. First time I got there, I believe that monster killed me when I tried to lure it away. Okay. Let's just wait a moment here. Let it begin its rotations. Sometimes it's good to take your time, switch off the torch and lay low. When the noise subsides, you're able to move on. Our goal, I would believe, is to open this elevator. But we don't have the keycard. The keycard is actually located where this monster is. We have 2 doors that we can potentially use when it's time to run away, or can lock ourselves in. But we have to go this way where the monster is, and to be honest with you, I don't know of a better way to do this. So I'll show you how I did it. If you notice that the monster walks back, of course facing backwards, then turns to the right. It does not, its blind spot is its left side. So what we just have to do is switch off our torch and wait for it to come back again. And we're going to walk really slowly with it. And be really quiet. Staying out of the pool of blood. Making our way in. Let's peek. Switch off our torch. Got our office key. Let's hide a bit. We survived. Now we just have to wait for the patrol. Now this is the one part I don't remember how I did. I believe I walked straight forward. Stay on the blind side. Don't make too much noise and run away. So far so good. Like I said, this game really has a way of scaring the bejesus out of me, and first time I played this, really I was stressed out, and which is good, I guess. You're getting the horror experience that you wanted, and right now I'm just trying to keep calm so that I don't sound stupid making this video. Kicking up the brightness has really helped. This was pitch black even with the torch. So at least now we get to see some of the surroundings, the backgrounds, the office structures. And the keycard recognition, or handprint.
Agent status terminated. Authorization invalid.
What? Terminated? Maybe I can force it open with the computer.
Analyzing data.
Let's wait.
thing used its light.
New mechanic being introduced, using the light on the Mobius science to reveal the path.
Come on!
And we're back. Slowly going stage by stage into a deeper, darker sleep, I believe.
If the system is activated, you'll hear a high-pitched noise. From then, we can't do anything to help.
What's gonna happen to me?
All I can say is that it'll be unsettling, but Leslie will be in there with you. You'll need to find it.
The surroundings we've walked
This is from before.
corridor, even she says we've done this
Leslie.
before.
Is he really here?
But now the grass is more wild and the environment is just dead. And there's Leslie.
Leslie is here. Okay, I gotta get to him before anything else does.
You get our first save. So at least if we die now, we don't start way too far backwards. Like the catch with the red ribbon. I'm sure there's some significance to it, but I'm just too dumb to know what exactly. Can you see that in the background? And it's gone. That's freaky. Ooh. Never found that the last time. Got me wondering if I missed anything now. Oh, like I said, for another time. Got another monster going, that's the way forward. But before we go in that direction, there's one last puzzle over here that I would like to show you, but I personally couldn't figure out how it was solved. Just look across the room. Six. Okay, our first hint is 6. Oh, maybe it has to do with the paintings in this building. Six and what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would believe. And that's pretty much it. There's no other painting I can potentially see. 1, 2, no third one. Let's just take one last quick peek and move on if we can find it. Oh, 622. 9. 9, 6, and 22. It's more reliable numbers. Let's just take one last peek. 9, 6, 22. Arrow keys to dial, mouse to move dial. 9, I would assume this is the one for 22. And this is the one for 9. Oh, it goes according to color actually. 22 is yellow, red is 6, and 9 is blue. Nice. I did not know that. So, hold on. 26 yellow. Okay. I mean 22 yellow, 22 yellow, 22 yellow. Okay. 6 over here. And 9 over here. Get a piece of the puzzle still. We'll check them out. Check out which pieces we have as we go on later into the DLC, but I do not want to drag on the videos for too long, so I don't know. When I feel that it's time to cut, or if I die in a place repeatedly, that will be the end of any particular portion of the DLC. Okay, we gotta get to that phone. Without stepping on this dead body. This guy here is no real big problem. The real issue is this guy here. Need to wait for him to make his rounds. Let him come this way. Let him walk back. If you mess up in this room, I believe you are as good as dead. Let's make our way back. Going to try have to cause a distraction. There's a cell phone in there to help us bypass this one guy. Okay, he's turning back. We need his friend to commence the jiggling. Okay. Let's wait it out here. Let him come back, repeat his pattern. I'm going to have him come walk down this way, the guy in the white shirt, and then have him walk back all the way down to the end of the corridor. Then we're gonna use the phone. But for then, let's just sit here and listen to some cool beats of monsters breathing in the background. Okay, as soon as that guy goes over towards the left-hand side, that's our cue. Go through. Nope, wrong place. Almost got ourselves killed. They're going to the wrong door. Whew. So far so good. Still waiting for that first death that that just knocks you off your stride. I really have to still have a big hands up for the optimization that was done.
You're one of us now.
What do we have here? Sometimes I
The
forget.
air feels so heavy in here.
After months of secrets, subterfuge, and indoctrination, they brought me into their fold. This place is elaborate, to say the least. Despite the modernistic visage, the research they have been doing here seems to date back to over a century ago. This place has history, and from what I can grasp, this facility is only one branch of many. Institutions, powerful families, their reach seems grand, and therefore the possibilities for me seem equally as rich. Clearly, my own unique methods at Beacon have piqued their interest, and I am most grateful for the opportunity. Most of what the researchers have been working on, however, seems archaic by today's standards. They told me budget is of no concern. Results are the only thing that matter. Juggling duties here and at the hospital seems manageable, but Reuben, comparatively insignificant, but even at his young age, his studies are remarkable. Perhaps one day he will even assist me with my work here.
I like the introduction to voice.
This is not a
And the notes.
negotiation, Dr. Jimenez. We're expected to reach a solution, hence the founding of this facility.
I understand that, and I appreciate the time you've given me.
Time has a limit, and we're approaching that point. If you've outspent your usefulness, we will need to find someone more suitable.
Let's not be so hasty. I've done tests with our visual diagnosis, and there is something I must speak to you about. Please, come with me. The projector is in the next room.
More tension between Jimenez and Mobius. And Ruvik still watches. I'm always scared to stand up just in case he attacks, so I'll just crawl it out. See what's happening here.
That video. I remember they showed me that when I was brought here.
Mistakenly cut a cutscene, just so you know. You'll have to forgive me for that. Let's see. The last one.
This research here, this is exactly what we've been looking for. I call it STEM. I'm sure you and your superiors will find this most satisfactory.
You mentioned the design was from a pupil of yours. In that case, where do you fit in?
He is an unstable individual. Perhaps it is better that I continue to be the one to contact in this situation.
I'd like you to bring this man in. We should all be able to have a productive conversation. What did you say his name was?
Ruben Victoriano.
And our demon keeps following us around. No other way but to go forward. Okay. Seem to be out. Reached the checkpoint.
I haven't been feeling well, but look, let's just get out of here. There's something wrong with this place.
That's where Leslie was before. And now those two, where are they headed?
Okay, so Sebastian has found Joseph.
Agent status terminated. Please contact biometrics for reauthentication.
Don't know if there is a save point nearby. I would feel that this would be a good place to end the video. I know there was a checkpoint, but I would just like to save just to make sure. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. In the next video, the next time I do record, I will be going to the biometrics lab to reinstate our DNA, and hopefully we'll be able to finish the first chapter. Managed to do this in 40 minutes. That's a good time. I think we'll be able to finish this very quickly. But as always, thanks for watching, and I know it's been a while, but it's good to have you back, and hopefully we should be able to continue this DLC the more of the assignment, more of the Evil Within, and I will see you guys next time.